What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Round 4 Showdown show here for the Mexico Open. Got my guy Big T with me here. Interesting setup rolling into this round as we've been talking a little bit backstage, but Mr. Knapp has a wide margin here. He's up 7 shots on the third place guy, 4 shots on Mr. Valimensky in second. What's going on, Big T? How's your day going? We got UFC started off on the right foot.
Yeah, love these days. NASCAR, we had 2 NASCAR races. If you haven't checked out our NASCAR package, off and running nicely. A couple big winners last week. The races today were good. And yeah, now we got MMA going, which I love, obviously. NBA starting in a half hour. Golf tomorrow, which is always fun, 4th round. And like always, it is a fun slate for Sunday, but it's different than usual because I don't know if we've ever, honestly, since we've started at Run Pure with these fourth round shows, seen a leaderboard where a guy's up 7 and second place is up 3. So, I mean, a seven shot lead between first and third. People already play the leaders on round 4. It's definitely an interesting game theory spot where what do we do? It seems like a jam spot, but we can talk it through some of the alternatives and stuff because man, I mean, we have to almost do the math even too, where if he's up 7, he's going to obviously play for pars and play as safe as he possibly could. So how does the points from all these guys, I don't think you can see my mouse on the screen, but it's I was circling around them. The 11s, the 12s, the 10s, all these guys are firing at pins to try to catch up. So how many birdies do they need? Actually, just start out with that because you're comfortable with this format. First place is how many birdies in translation. So say he makes no birdies. What do these guys behind need to do to score better than him?
Yeah, they're going to need probably, I mean, he's going to basically secure like 3.5 birdies just for winning alone. And like you were saying, I think he's going to play pretty cautious, maybe just attack these par 5s. So even if he only gets like 4 birdies and then just say birdies all the par 5s, pars everything else, he'll be 4 under. He's going to be really tough to I mean, he's going to have
4 under's got to be like,
yeah.
like what is this? I'm assuming there's no numbers out yet, but like 4 under's got to, I would bet definitely a higher score than that.
Yeah, I think he's minus 400 to win the event right now, but yeah, I think I mean, just based off what he shot every round so far, he's been looking good every round. I mean, 67, 64, 63. So he's gotten better every round. I mean, it's just been pretty crazy what he's been doing.
Under par each one?
67, 64, 63. So he shot 4 under, 7 under, 8 under.
Yeah. I'm interested. I mean, this is what makes this slate fun, though. I mean, I don't feel like he shoots 4 under, but again, so what's his first place 30, just like the main slate?
I think so.
But I mean, like, so third on the main slate, at least it's 30, 20, 18, 16, 14 type thing. So if it's that same thing, I mean, a lot of these guys in the 11 and 12 are going to get 18, 20, 16 points. So you're talking, it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to make a case for the fade because I know how popular he's going to be. And it's just such an important, like, say for whatever reason you wanted to fade first and second. Like, you can just load these guys up in the 12s and 11s and just they're going to fire at pins all freaking day. And I mean, look at some of the scores haven't been as crazy, but today, look at all these numbers. I mean, 6s and 5s and 8s. I mean, all these scores are going to beat him tomorrow. Granted, he was one of the 8s, so I'm not saying like it can't happen, but I even if you give him 3 or 4 under tomorrow, I mean, if he gets 3 or 4, he's going to be in the winner for sure. But if he stays around 19 under, which I think is somewhat realistic, I really do. He's not going to take any chances. And when it comes to like 20-foot putts, he's going to just roll them up there and try to tap it in. I mean, it's tough to shoot 4 under when he's not firing at pins. Flip side to that is, I mean, if he's up enough, it almost takes the pressure off the other way where he just kind of just throws it up in the middle of the green and does what he wants with it. But I don't know. I mean, are you dead set on playing? And throw Valmaki or however you say his name in there too. I mean, what's your opinion going in before we break down some of those other guys? How high are you on these two?
Yeah, I think I'm going to play Nap. I think I'm going to fade Valmaki there. That's just the way I'm going to do it. I mean, Nap's just playing so good right now. I think he's a pretty good chance where he shoots 4 or 5 under tomorrow and kind of is on cruise control there on the back nine and just takes what's given to him there. But 13 points for first place. Second place gets 10 points. And then third through 10th, there's really no difference in third through 10th. There's like a 3 to 4 point gap between those, so it's not too big of a deal. I think just figuring in, pick your winner, like I usually say, and then look for guys down low that can come up and steal some of those placement points with birdies. So I think I'm going to be heavily invested. I have an outright on Nap from earlier this week, so I'm hoping that can come through too as well. So almost kind of doubling down. I mean, the price tag with Nap too is only 9,400, so it's super easy to fit him in. So I'm going to be heavy on him and then kind of fade in the other guys up near the top. The top 5 guys from 12 under and best, I'm going to be off Silverman, off Valmaki, and off Norlander. I think sprinkling in some Kim and Knapp is going to be how I attack the top 5 here.
And the good part about Knapp is, I mean, so a lot of time in golf, we talk about ownership and a lot of stuff, but I mean, he can't be higher than like 50%, even if everyone jams him. So half the field, just say he does shoot 3 or 4 under like you think. He's a stone cold lock to be in the winner. The flip side is, what does he have to shoot to where you would think he wouldn't be in the winner? If he finishes at 19 under, couple birdies, couple pars, finishes even say 1 under, say optimistic 20 under, what do you think his chances of being in the winner at 20 under are?
I bet he's still 50 to 60%.
So around the ownership, that was kind of what I was leading into. Like if we say he's 50 to 60% owned, he shoots even or 1 under, which is still 20 under, which is very likely to finish in first place at 20 under, unless one of these guys really throws a number up on that board. But it has to be. That's kind of what I'm thinking too, just talking about it. I mean, it's got to be higher than the ownership, which is always what it should come down to. Is it higher or lower than what they're owned? I think he'll be 50 to 60% owned, and I think he's got to be. I mean, you said he's minus 400 to win it, so you're talking 80% right there to win it. At least my math is not the greatest, so it could be wrong, but I think that's 80% to win the thing. And if he somehow shoots 30 or 40, so I think that. So maybe the more interesting is just the second place dude, who's played good all week too. Like you said, though, second place is down to 20 points, right? That's what you said?
10 points.
10 points. So
yep.
10 points less than first, right?
Yeah.
Or 10 points is total.
They start with 10 points. Whoever gets second place gets that 10-point bonus.
10. So what did you say? 2 birdies? 3 birdies?
2 birdies. Basically is what second place is.
I got you now. So
yeah.
I think I'd be more willing to be on your page too, where we fade second place. We just assume Knapp. I mean, Knapp doesn't really matter. As long as he shoots somewhere around 19, 20 under total. Like you said, if he goes 3 or 4 under, it's just a lock anyways. You don't even have to think about it. And you're going to get terrible ratings because there's going to be no excitement in the tournament tomorrow. But so that's kind of where I'm at too. Play Knapp, fade second place. How do you even pronounce that? Valmaki? I don't know why I'm asking you.
Yeah.
You love the freaking. You're like JSU with the freaking pronunciations, high-techy and whatever the other nonsense you're with your names. These next, I'm lower on these. Like, so Silverman shot 8 under today. I just naturally don't really want to. You got the. How much is Silverman tomorrow? I should pull this up too.
Yeah, he's Silverman tomorrow is 6,700, so he's going to be very popular. And then Valmaki is 7,900. It's going to be super easy. A lot of people are just going to jam these guys 12 under or better. So I'm going to take the approach of just playing Knapp and fading the other 4.
I think I'm with you too. Just pulling this stuff up. I mean, Valmaki's going to be. I wouldn't be totally shocked if he's like 40% when Knapp is 50. And I think it's very likely that they both don't end up in the winner. I mean, because they're gonna. I mean, that guy's gonna play somewhat safe too. He's gonna throw at pins, but I mean, second place means a lot to
It's a lot
guys
of
like
money for
that
him.
too. I mean, these guys, they're not veterans on the tour. Like, all this stuff matters to them. So, I mean, if you had a big name up there, like I know before the show, and we're going to get into it, but Bobby Mack's a little bit more established. Even Eric Van Rooyen has had some success in the past. I guess it can be a segue into this next range. But some of these guys have more pedigree, and I just trust them to go low. I mean, how many times have we seen EVR and Bobby Mack shoot really low numbers? I love playing those two. I think I'm with you all the way looking at it. I mean, these next guys, I wish you could see the mouse you can't see it on the screen, can you?
I can't now.
I'm circling these ones, but Silverman, Norlander, and Kim, they all shot really good numbers today, which makes me naturally want to be off a little bit. So I wish I could argue with you, but I think we're arm in arm a little bit here. Knapp, fade these next four guys. I keep still doing it with my freaking mouse like an idiot. No one can see it. But I'll scroll down a little bit on the – I don't know what I did to the screen because now it doesn't go when I scroll down either. I might have jacked it up somehow. I'll figure that out while you talk about this next group, though.
Yeah, we can talk about these. The next five guys here at minus 11, or I guess there's four guys here at minus 11. I think Bobby Mack is the best play on the slate, though. We're getting Bobby Mack, who's actually been playing better the last 2 days. He started out a little shaky. Round one, he shoots even par, but he finished strong in that first round. He made 3 birdies his last 5 holes, carried that over to the next day where he shot 66, and then even carried that over. He played even better today. He was 65 today, bogey-free, 65 with an eagle on the last hole. So I love Bobby Mack today. He was plus 3 strokes gained approach today, and he lost putting. So I think he could have even shot even better today, and we're getting him at 7,600. So I think I might even just lock in Bobby Mack and Knapp into like a 20 max or a 150 max build or something, then just start with those two as my leading starting blocks there. And then another guy in this minus 11 range. I think I'm going to play 2 of these guys, and I think Justin Lower is the guy I'm looking at. Another value play, 7,400 for him. The last 2 days, he's been really good. 66, 66 the last 2 days. Bogey free today as well. So Justin Lower is a guy I'm definitely high on for tomorrow. Bobby Mack and Justin Lower, I think, are elite values to go with a Lower. I think you could even play another guy we'll get into later here, like a Finau or somebody. But I think locking in those 2 values almost is a great way to start this out.
Yeah, I don't know what I did to the screen, but now I think I fixed it.
Yeah, I see it now.
You can see my mouse for a second too, but now you can't. But yeah, I mean, I totally agree. And Bobby Mack, if anyone was going to come back and win this, it's going to take a very low round. I mean, I think I remember Bobby Mack beating Bubba maybe or Rory in one of those overseas events where he went crazy low on Sunday, like 10 under or something, totally off the top of my head. So I could be wrong, but I think I remember that. And he just can get hot with the putter, and so can Van Rooyen. I mean, these are birdie makers. These are guys that I want a lot of. So I'm totally on board with you with those guys. Justin Lower, I'm a little bit, Landa, it was against Rory. That makes sense because I appreciate that too because I wasn't totally sure. It could have been totally different, but I thought I remembered him doing that. Justin Lower, though, it might be the first one I don't totally love. He went 500 today. He's in contention. I just want guys, total birdie makers. I mean, he gained on putting today. I don't know. I don't love him as much. And again, I'm talking more leaderboard here, which we could talk by price, but I honestly like the format you guys do with this show where you kind of go down the list. And me personally, I like looking at this way before the prices, just so that I don't let pricing dictate who I play on Sundays.
What would you guess EVR's price tag is?
See, this is going to be a good game because I haven't looked, and I honestly have no. So EVR 11 under. How just for the what did you say? Knapp, the top 2 were.
Knapp is 9,400 and Valimaki is 7,900.
So I would guess EVR is in the 7Ks probably. I hope he's like in the 9Ks though, so that people don't play him.
Yeah, he's 9,600.
So he's up. That's good. That's what I want. I want him up there so that people. Well, I don't know why I said 76. Anyways, that was a terrible guess because he was in the 9. I forgot the pricing to start the event. He was 9Ks to start with, right?
Yep.
So obviously that was a horrible guess. I deserved. You should have made fun of me. That was literally a terrible guess.
That's what he should be priced though on a normal week.
Yeah, I mean, it was a horrible guess, though, because he was 9K to start with. But either way, that makes me like him more. And how much was Bobby Mack?
7,600.
Okay, so I'm with you on those guys. Matt Wallace was unbelievable yesterday. We've played him in the past at tougher events. To be honest, I've never really played him at bad events. And he went really low. But today, this is the number that you can't see my mouse again, but shooting even today. I think he bounces back with a big round, and I know he can make birdies. So I like Matt Wallace a decent amount too. And then I'll go down to this next range too, like Bramlett. I love Bramlett. He can make birdies. Grillo can definitely make birdies we've seen in the past. I don't like Novak as much. Davis Thompson shot 700 today. Not going to like him as much. Keith Mitchell and Brandon Wu, though, I think they're both definitely in play. I'm assuming they're somewhat expensive too. And as we start spending salary, we're going to have to go somewhere else. But I do like them. Campillo, I'm not going to like him. Cam Champ, I don't love him. Patrick Rogers, I'm assuming is priced up too, just the way the event. Is he in the 9Ks too, I assume? Pat Rod?
Pat Rod, he's priced. Where is he at? He's right there, 9,100.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to get tough, but
yeah,
I'm not as high on these guys because of pricing and the way we already have it. But guys I like the best are Bramlett and Grillo in that next grouping of guys.
I think Grillo is a really strong tournament play. He's 9,800 too, so I think that's going to kind of cap his ownership with the price tag there. So we've seen the upside. Grillo has a couple of times this round already, or this event, but I like that. I'm going to keep going back to Bramlett. He's still in the 7K ranges. I've played him every single round. I think he shot. Yeah, he's been right solid every round. 66 the first round and 67 today. So I like Bramlett. He gained with the irons today. He gained with the putter. Lost 1.5 strokes around the green. So maybe Bramlett cleans that short game up a little bit more. And then I like Killer Keith Mitchell again. I was high on him today. I said he was one of the best tournament plays today because he was in that 9K range, and DK dropped his price tag for round 4. He's 8,800 going into round 4, and he's that guy that has the upside. We saw 4 straight birdies for him today. He can get hot and shoot 6, 7, 8 under again tomorrow, I think. So I'm high on Keith Mitchell. And then Brandon Wu is a guy who just started out terrible round 1. Shot even par, and then he goes 67 and 66 the last 2 days. One of the course horses here. He's finished top 10 the first 2 times this event's been there, and he's looking for his 3rd straight top 10 here. So I think Brandon Wu is another strong target at 8,600. So I like Mitchell and Wu in the upper 8K range quite a bit. I'm going to be off Davis Thompson as well. I don't think he can back up that 7 under round that he had going today, as he was fine the first 2 days. Shot 1 under the first 2 days, but I think he kind of regresses closer to that -2, -3 type round tomorrow. So I'm going to be off of him, but I think Grillo is a great tournament play as well.
So yeah, I agree with a lot of that stuff that you're saying, and I wanted to pull up the prices because I talked about it first as you were talking about it. And a good example of why I didn't want to look at some of the pricing is just the way it sets up is, I mean, guys, and I know Landa talked about it too, so I was curious, but like Chan Kim being, hold on, let me pull it back up on the screen. But him being cheap, I can't get it to sort how I want it, but Chan Kim being cheap at 7, what is he, 7?
He's where is he?
My screen won't. Oh, there he is. 7,400.
Yeah.
So you got him in 3rd at 7,400. He's the 3rd favorite. Norlander 7,400 in 3rd. And then Valmaki 7,900 in second. So like you said, starting the show, which I didn't know the pricing at the time on purpose, so many people are playing that little grouping of all those guys in the 7Ks that everyone else just has to be lower owned. I mean, just breaking it by ownership. I mean, Norlander, who we didn't like, just has to be like 30%. I mean, Chan Kim has to be like 30%. Valmaki has to be above 30%. So much edge just not playing, at least not all of them. I'm not saying you have to fade all of those 7K guys because you're going to need some savings with the guys we like. I mean, we like Bobby Mack more at 7,600. He's going to be owned too, but we just like him more. So he'll be a little lower owned too. And like Justin Lower, you were on him. He's 7,400. So all the next grouping is a similar price. I like your takes on fading a few of the slightly chalkier guys and getting different. But as we go down the leaderboard, we need to remember the 7K tags because that's where you can get some big time leverage if we're just playing NAP, because everyone's going to play these 30%ers, and NAP most weeks on the round 4, you're trying to steal those win points. They're not really in play for this event. So we're literally trying to make birdies. So if we can find some 7K guys that are down the leaderboard, I think we can make up some pretty good ground on the field. Talk about, so you went down to the 13th, right? So we can go down to the next range, which is somewhat interesting too. And you can kind of talk about it first because I have some opinions on some of these guys. But like Tony Finau, I'm assuming, again, I haven't looked at those prices because I didn't want to on purpose. Is he like crazy expensive?
Yeah, Tony Finau is going to be 12K again still. I don't think many people will get to him either, but he's one of those guys that, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Finau goes out there and shoots like 9 under tomorrow. I mean, he just keeps committing way too many stupid mistakes. Like down the stretch today, he lost 2 strokes putting down the stretch. He played the last 3 par 5s at 1 over. I mean, Tony Finau's way better golfer than that. I think I mean, he's a guy that could put some heat on him. I mean, you do have to worry about him a little bit kind of mailing it in, but I think he's got some heart. I think he's going to fire at pins tomorrow, and he could easily – he's only 4 back of third place, so he's easily could move into the top 5, I think, even tomorrow.
Yeah, and it just makes a lot of sense, especially if you were somehow fading Knapp, which we both like Knapp and think he might be just a lock. If you were somehow fading Knapp, I mean, I think you have to play Finau and just hope he goes crazy. But we can play him with Knapp too, just out of curiosity. If you played Knapp and Finau, of course I don't have that up on the screen either, but Knapp and Finau, what does it leave you with?
7,100.
7,100. So then an easy route for a lot of people would be to play those two, play 3 of the 7K guys, and then play at whatever punt you want to. And honestly, I can't totally hate that path because if Finau really wants it, I mean, he can go as low as anyone in the field, obviously. I mean, the dude could go 11 under or something tomorrow, and I wouldn't be shocked. So I like that, though. I have to have a decent amount of Finau. I mean, what do we think Finau for ownership? About 15, 20?
Yeah, I was gonna guess 15 to 20% because that price tag's definitely gonna cap his ownership.
And how's we'll talk about it at the end. Talk about this next range real quick because at the very end, let's just look at some of the 6K and 7K pivots. But talk about the rest of this range first.
Yeah, we've got Chesson Hadley's right there. He's always got some upside. He lost almost a stroke putting today. He's a guy that could rebound big tomorrow. He's 8 under. Steven Yeager's another guy that has elite upside. He's priced at 10.1K too. Like nobody's gonna play him. He'll be like 5% owned. I think Yeager's a good like large field for that 100K tournament. Yeager's a good option for that. He gained with the approach. He gained putting today. Lost a little off the tee, but he's got elite birdie upside. And then I don't think I'm going to get to Martin Trainer. He shot 5 under today. I'll probably be off of him. He made the cut on the number. So
that's my boy. Don't be talking about your boy. I'm heavy on him this week.
Hopefully he does well for you then. He's got some good birdie upside. Just didn't really do much the first 2 days. Just had a couple bad holes, I guess, looking into it a little more. 66
he started
today.
Bad too. I was watching him closer because I had him on my main team, but he was bad like the front 9 on Thursday. Yeah. And then since then, he's been, I mean, again, he's got, I haven't looked at the prices. I'm assuming he's very cheap though.
Yeah, he's 6,200.
Yeah, don't be counting out my boy down there at that 6,200.
Yeah, write him down.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping he was down there in that real cheap range.
I like that play. Yeah, to mark him down and get him on the book.
About this range than me. Keep plowing through that. Keep plowing through that next range.
Yeah, for sure. Carson Young's here as well. He's got some decent birdie upside. He's been all right this week. I don't think I'm going to get there. He's 7,700. I'd rather play Trainer over Young. 7,700 is just way too much for him with the other guys in that range. So I'll be off of him. This 6K range, our guy Mav McNeely finally put together a pretty solid round today. Still left a little bit out there on the par fives, but he's got elite birdie upside. They've got his price tag still in that low 8K range, so still pretty good upside for him right there at 6 under as he fights for like maybe a top 15 or something. And in the 6K range, I like Ryan Palmer as a cheapie too. He's 7,200. He's kind of battled through these last two rounds. Made 5-6 birdies today, had a triple today. Otherwise, he played great today aside from that triple, and he left 3 par fives open out there. So he made 5 birdies the day before, or 6 birdies the day before. So Ryan Palmer's definitely got some good upside for 7-2. I'm going to go there some more. And then another guy, maybe Robbie Shelton I could look at. He's got some decent upside. But I really like Ryan Palmer, and then probably won't get to Grayson Sigg today. He was +3 with the putter, -2 with the iron. So that's typically something I kind of try and shy away from there. But yeah, I like Mav too in the 8Ks, low 8Ks for that upside.
I love Mav. I mean, he had that little rough patch. It was either, I'm assuming it was Thursday because he wasn't that great. I love them coming in. Honestly, if I had to pick someone coming into the week, I think Mav was kind of my pick based on value where whatever the odds coming in. I loved him this week. And I honestly loved him midway through the round Thursday. I bet a little extra on him. So I like him a ton in this range. Like you said, Finau, Chesson Hadley, I can get behind that because he can make birdies. I'm assuming Jaeger's probably too expensive once we look at the prices real quick. Yeah, I don't love a ton of this next round. I mean, there is a lot of guys in this range. How many dudes? There's 16 guys tied at 6 under, which again brings me back to all these guys are just playing for birdies tomorrow. They're all just cluttered. I mean, there's so many birdie guys where I'm just not totally sold on just playing the first place dude Nat, but I like Snyder's strategy, which is to fade that next tier of guys, jam him. I think that gets us different. And there's just so many guys in this range. Even like Hubbard, man. He shot 2 over today. I mean, why can't he go low tomorrow? But again, he's probably expensive too. And we'll look at the prices as we kind of churn through there. Maybe SaberSim will even have it updated.
Hubbard 9,300.
Who? Hubbard? Yeah. I probably can't click that button. But he could definitely go low. Yeah. I agree, Ghost Jam. A Bramlett looks tasty. And Crew, one of the 7 or 8 under guys. I think there's going to be a lot of nukes tomorrow because this course is easy and the pressure's off now. That dude's got a 7-shot lead on third. These guys are firing at pins. The only guy that might not is Valmaki, who is in second, and that means a lot to him. So he's going to try to hang around and maybe make a little noise, but everyone else is firing. Okay, let's talk about anyone down here because I don't necessarily love playing people that go out early because I talked about making birdies. But if you're so far down, honestly, they're in a nice place. Get that round out of the way and go do what you do. Go have a little fun. I don't love playing guys this far back on Sundays, but does anyone catch your eye down towards the bottom?
Typically, I don't like to play any of these guys either this far down. I usually like to play the guys that are playing their best golf for 2 or 3 rounds. But Johnny Vegas is a guy I could be talked into. He's at 5 under. He's got a pretty good price tag, 8,100. We'll keep his ownership very low Our guy Carl Yuan's down there. He really struggled with the flat stick today. He lost over 3 strokes putting today. Very hurtful. Not many people down here. I think a lot of these guys could be out at the strip clubs and nightclubs down there in Mexico tonight.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like it's if I've ever not liked the bottom of the leaderboard, it's got to be this week because I just don't see it. Like, and there's so many guys in that mid range that we talked about where I think you could almost literally pull everyone towards the bottom. Let me switch this screen share up real quick and see if I can share Sabre because I think I got it where we need it. Not the projections, but let's pull this up real quick. Share and the projections will be up for those wondering, but let me pull this up.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, here now we can look more like this. I got it sorted the same thing. We got the salary right here. So now that we talked about that range, let's go down in the cheap seats. So some of these chalky dudes, let's look in the 7Ks. You can tell me some pivots. So right away, Valmaki, 7,900. We said we like Bramlett. I mean, that to me is one easy pivot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any of these other guys in the 7Ks do you like as far as a pivot? Top high sevens, I mean, above Bobby Mack. So just this grouping.
High sevens. I think Valmaki's the good pivot or the good fade, like we said. And I do like Bramlett right there. I think Bramlett can match him. Looking at that's about it. I like moving down to Bobby Mack then and some of these cheaper.
What do you think of Novak? I mean, so we don't like Carson, we don't like Lanta. I'm just going to clean this list up a little. What about Novak?
Let me check his round 4 numbers. That's something I like to do too, is see how these guys kind of typically play in round 4. Novak has only broke 71 in his last four round 4. So, I mean, he's got great birdie upside, but I think I might be off of Novak there.
So would you only play one of this range, Valmaki, Bramlett, Novak?
I think I'm just going to almost lock Bobby Mack maybe.
So you don't like – oh, yeah, but you're going to have to play 2 of these dudes. He's in the next range I want to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
What about Ortiz? I never even heard of this guy. Who in the world is Ortiz?
I'm not sure. Maybe he's a guy from down there. Let me pull up some of his stuff here.
I mean, he's got to be somewhat low owned too, just because this range has a lot of guys in it. So, like, I'll clear out some of these other ones too. Like, I'm not playing Sig. I'm not playing Higo. Carl Yuan, I mean, he had his fun. We're not. I mean, I'm not playing Carl Yuan. He had his fun. Get him out of there. So I'll leave in all these dudes that are kind of in the range where we could talk about them.
I mean, that Cristobal del Solar, that's the dude that shot 58 on that Corn Ferry, or 57 or something like that on the Corn Ferry Tour. He opened up. He was the first round leader, or in second place the first round, and then kind of went to crap. But we know he's got decent upside. And then Ryan Palmer is the other guy I'm kind of looking at in the bottom 7Ks here at 7,200. He's at -6. But I kind of like filling out my team with like 3 guys in that mid range, like in that 8K range almost.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Just I didn't clear out all the 8K range, but I can even go back up real quick. Like, you have a lot of guys in the 8Ks. This is why I love SaberSim, by the way, because me being OCD, even without the projections, which will be up soon, I mean, this is such a clean, and what I like to do too, I can show it real quick, but I like to clean it up even more and make it to where it's just easy to view what you need.
Yeah.
So, like, I get rid of all these categories, and then I think I did that right, but it's just so clean now. I got the position, the salary, the score. Like I said, the projections for us and Sabre will be up later, but it's just so clean to remove people. Once I do that, like, it just is going to, let me sort by the thing again, or no, sort by the salary. So like when you're saying the 8Ks, like right away, you can see how clean it all is. I mean, I'm not playing Eckroat, get rid of him. It just makes it easier to view kind of the leverage points. So some of the guys you said, like in the 8Ks, we like all these guys. I mean, Gim, I don't remember you talking about Gim, but the same idea with him where these guys are all bigger names. Matt Wallace has done good. Keith Mitchell, Brandon Wu, we've seen low rounds. Cam Champ, even though I don't like him, we've seen low rounds. I'm not going to play 2 gloves, but we like Mav McNeely. Johnny Vegas, we've seen go low a ton. Man, now that so Chesson Hadley, when I heard you talking about him, I thought for sure he was way less than 8K.
Same here.
I'm not liking him as much. But again, this is why I like viewing it on the SaberSim stuff, because I mean, I can't play. Just for example, I know we're not playing Valmont. I can't play Hadley over him. If I'm looking for a pivot, I'm going down to Bramlett, Novak, Bobby Mack, lower that next range. So I'm not going to play Hadley. I changed my mind at 8K. I can't do it. But all these 8K guys, you bring up good point. We like that. 7K guys. I mean, we kind of looked at that. Let's go all the way down. Is there anybody down here? I mean, Wilson Furr. I mean, any of these dudes down here pop off?
No, I do like. I kind of like a little bit of CT Pan there at 6,200. I think he's a guy with a pretty good upside. We've seen him fire some low numbers out there before. So I think him and your guy Trainer down there. I'm going to check out his round 4.
I actually love Trader, by the way. So I hope you end up liking him because 6,200.
CT Pan shot 66 at the Sanderson's Farms in a final round. Hasn't made the weekend in 4 or 5 events, but he's got some upside. And then let's see how Trainer's done in round 4s here. I click on his name. He was only 5,400 coming into the week. That was a strong price tag.
That's why I love how they did that for the week-long pricing, though, because you never could play those guys when they're 6,400, but 5,400 opens up a whole new path. Or if they make the cut at that price, granted, we needed Finau to do probably better than he's done, but 5,400, you can get way more creative. I honestly wish they'd go even lower. With some of the dudes you just literally can't play, make them 4K. Give you an option to play them. If it was perfect pricing, you should have the ability to play every single person.
Yeah, put Stuart McDonald down there at 4K. That was the guy who pushed the cut to -2. He made birdie on 18.
So you like Ryan Palmer down here. So I already only have 7 guys in the 6Ks. And I mean, Jerry Springer, I mean, I can't play him. Santiago, I'm not going to use him. So, I mean, Chad Ramey, Phillips, I don't even think I can really play them. I mean, unless you tell me different. You like either one of those dudes?
I don't think so. I'm not going to go there.
So, I mean, we're already down to 3. I mean, Silverman, I think, is going to be probably higher owned than what would I think he'd be at? I mean, what do you think Silverman's ownership?
If people sort by the leaderboard, I think he might be like 30% potentially.
You think he's going to be that high, Silverman? Oh, I can't play him.
I mean, that could be a little high, but people just love to jam that top of the leaderboard. He could comfortably just pound.
I definitely like that price tag, but he's another guy that we can get off people like that because he's just not going to make that. I mean, the dude.
He shot 8 under today. I mean, he's not going to duplicate that.
I'm not going to fully remove him yet just because the price is so cheap. But I love these pivots low. Trainer and CT Pan. I would actually put CT Pan ahead of Trainer, but I love both of those guys. I mean, so say like example on a Finau team. Say you play Finau. Say you play our boy Knapp. And then just say you want to play 2 scrubs, CT Pan and Trainer. So you got Finau, Knapp, Pan, Trainer. You still got 8,100. So like, all those guys we were talking about are in play. Bobby Mack, Bramlett, Johnny Vegas, Mav McNeely, Matt Wallace, Keith Mitchell, Doug Gim. All those guys are in play by going down in the 6Ks, even with Finau. So for me, I mean, I think we're pretty clear cut where we need to be here.
I just plugged the team in. That's a pretty strong team there. If you plug in Bobby Mack and you got 8,600 left, I mean, that's a pretty solid team.
As far as Finau, right? So, like, if we didn't want to play Finau, you can go with one 6K guy of the 2 we said. And I would even put, even put Silverman in there. You could play one 6K guy, not Finau, and then jam all the guys we like, Bobby Mack and lower and all these dudes. But the Finau is a different build, and he can go low. And I mean, can't you see Finau finishing like second in this event, shooting like 8 under and finishing second? Finau crushes when there's no pressure, and he can just go out and play golf. So I mean, I love that. But who's your favorite three that you just to summarize it all, and then I'll say mine too.
I'm gonna go a little contrarian. I'm just gonna go the course horses here. Brandon Wu, Keith Mitchell, and Bobby Mack. If you start with those three, you have 8,300 left too. So you put one 6K guy in there, you can get Knapp in there and still have like 8K.
I mean, I love that. I love that build, and you can put it with Knapp. You can get everything you want. And I'm with you though. The more I look at it, the more I want to play. Let me scroll up to the top and do the leaderboard thing again. But Knapp, and then right away, and that's what you were saying about Silverman. When you sort just by the stats, you got, and just to be honest, like Chan Kim is 7,400, and that's only a 700 difference. And I think Kim is like a way better play than Silverman. So maybe I'll end up pulling Silverman out. But you got all these guys in here. Bobby Mack has to be a core play for both of us. I think the difference for me, I'm going to be on Bramlett, Bobby Mack, and I'll even say I'll say CT Pan down low just because I want to give a cheap guy down there that really gives flexibility. So I mean, with both of our cores, it's cheap. But just say who did I say? Just because I want to see the price. I said Bobby Mack, Bramlett, CT Pan, and Knapp. So
I don't even think you need to go that low for CT. I just build a team right now using Mitchell, Wu, McIntyre, and Bramlett. I had 8K
build,
left.
though, the reason so every time I've ever done good in like the showdown stuff, I always have a 6K guy. And I love for like the 150 I'm building. I love your plan of jamming the mid range. For like my one main team, though, I love the idea that I could play those four. Then for my last two spots, I mean, you can literally play. Let me scroll back up. You can easily play. Let's just say, how'd those dudes get back? I thought I pulled some of those guys out. But I can play like Mav McNeely, Patrick Rogers, Van Royen. I mean, I got 9,450 for my last two spots. So I could literally play Grillo and Pat Rod or stuff like that. And all by playing that 6K guy, I think I can get two more studs. And those 9K guys are definitely better than the 8K guys, I think. But again, like to build a portfolio, if you're playing 20 or 150, I like your plan overall better, like just to jam all those. But for a main team, I think I have to play a 6K guy on my main team.
Yeah, that's cool.
We got
there's plenty of flexibility
here. That drawing though, so you can peel the winners out.
Yeah, that might be, hopefully.
But yeah, I mean, no one else has any questions or anything. We can get out of here and pick some winners. Watch the end of this MMA. I haven't seen what happened in the last couple fights. Hopefully, we got a couple winners.
Yeah, I haven't really been paying attention either. Hopefully, we get a couple more early finishes for us.
Love it, but yeah. I mean, anything else? Who wins? Is it just stay chalky?
I hope Knapp wins. I got a 40-1 ticket on him, so I'd like to cash that. I've been second place the last 2 weeks, so let's see if we can actually run pure this week.
Who's the Soldiers going into Sunday?
We've got Johnny Vegas was one from the main slate, and who else did I have? Two of the three made the cut. The other one was Stevens.
Oh, no. Chalky Stevens was the Soldier?
Well, he wasn't that popular on Tuesday or whatever.
I thought he was going to be like so popular with everyone on him, but he sucked too, right? Didn't he?
Well, he was right. He was like 6 under that final round and then ended up like bogey, double, bogey or something like that. It's very hurtful.
And Landon says AP's in 21st place in the 20. Yeah, we got.
Yeah, he's got a lot of live sweat.
Who's the 6 guys? Do you know off the top of your head?
I can't remember. He sent me a screenshot, but I can't remember. So hopefully he can run pure there.
Oh yeah, he said up there. He said we need Yuan, Champ, Vegas, and Finau all to shoot -6. I mean, those are guys that could do it. Those are 4 guys that could definitely do it. But all righty, let me figure it. Do you know how to get this thing off? What do we have to do?
Yeah, I can get us out of here. That'll do us for tonight. Thanks a lot for watching as always, and hit the like on the way out if you haven't already.